All right, so two things we disproved that I'm super, super happy about. The first one here was that wear and tear will ruin the game. What is up, everybody? It is Jake back with the MF Film Room. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things EA College Football, hit that red subscribe button. Right now, we have a special going on. 2 of my subscribers are going to be getting themselves a free deluxe copy of the game for themselves. If they've already got the game pre-ordered, they're going to give themselves $100 cash. So hit that red subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and follow me on Twitter/X. If you like college football content, go subscribe to my other channel, Master Football with Jake Posey. Link is in the description. But enough about all that EA college football content. Let's go. So just yesterday, we got our first look at the gameplay. And again, not just like specifically plays are here. We're talking about full games. Maybe not full games. They were only 3-minute quarters. But you understand what I'm saying. You got to see the full gamut of what was going on there. So all those people saying, oh yeah, well, they're trying to hide this. They're trying to hide that. We got to see it in its full glory. Now, you guys know this channel. I am not just going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, they've got this and they've got that, and basically just regurgitate what they already brought. I wanted to make sure that I brought up a couple of things here because there's a couple intricate things we need to discuss here. There's a lot of things that we confirmed, some things that we disproved, and a lot of things that were like, okay, we still have some questions about. And I also have, based off of this the other day, my roommate came up to me. He was like, I got ourselves a little theory about Team Builder connected to this reveal that we need to discuss. But without further ado, let's get into that stuff right now. So here is that video, and again, it was an awesome video, about 21 minutes long. It included Bordeaux and Donovan Edwards, the running back for Michigan. However, this was a good video. I found out that there was a lot more cool points found in Bordeaux's video that he released just after that. So here's Bordeaux's video, and again, I'm going to make sure I include some timestamps here for some specific things that were brought up because there's some really, really cool things we need to discuss. So we're going to go over some initial thoughts, some things that we confirmed, some things we found out, some things we disproved, and then some things we still need to know. Let's get into that list right now. All right, so for these first look thoughts, so it felt a little bit curated. What I mean by that is it felt a little bit like, so as an example, you heard in the Bordeaux video, they had headpieces in there, and they were saying, okay, hey, do this, try that, whatever it is. You could tell that they were kind of showing off the game more than they were actually trying to play the game. Well, that depends. I mean, I don't know. I know that based off of the video, Bordeaux got dogged in both of those games. But for the most part, I'm like, okay, it looks like he was actually trying some of the features. He wasn't just trying to score there and trying to win up. You know, he also threw the ball into coverage a lot. But again, we'll get into that in a second here. It felt a little bit curated, but only to a degree. It felt like he was partially curated, but partially trying to play the game. Again, you guys let me know what you guys think about that. We also still found out a lot about the gameplay. There's a lot that's in here that we got to find out that we didn't know, or that we confirmed, or that we got to be able to disprove. There's a lot I want to discuss, especially though those disproving things. We also need to discuss here that Bordeaux needs to add some sort of pizzazz to his voice. He is one of the best YouTubers right now in terms of the EA college football community, but he just kind of talks a little bit. Like, okay, you got to put respect on his name. He's one of the best, but come on, Bordeaux, add a little pizzazz, baby. Also, Donovan Edwards needs Mucinex or Vicks or something because Homeboy was stuffed up. I don't know if he's just nasally. Homeboy was like this the whole game. I know that I will never smell a college football national championship like Donovan Edwards has. He has that. I'll never be able to take that away from him. But that's about the only thing he's going to be able to smell that I can't smell. All right, so some things that we confirmed. So one thing was really cool there. We actually got in the headpiece there where Bordeaux, they told him like, hey, do a coverage shell. He did it where he was like, oh, it's cover 3, but I'm going to make it look like cover 2. Boom, throws the pick right then and there. It was really cool. They look awesome. They also looked really easy to use. I know we kind of found that out. But I originally thought, oh, do you have to audible to it every time? No, you can actually just make it a standard issue off the play. So, okay, we're going to blitz, but we want it to look like cover 4. Okay, well, we're going to call cover 2, but we want to make sure it looks like a man blitz. Whatever it is, you can do that in the game off the snap. Also, I want to make sure that we saw this. We kind of got hints here and there from a couple of people talking about it, but with a lot of factors added to the passing defense, running the ball will be the go-to option along with the option specifically. So running the ball looked like it was overpowered. I mean, Donovan Edwards was destroying him. He averaged like 10, 11, 12 yards a carry in both games combined. So running the ball is going to be a little OP in this game. Open field tackling looks tough. I will say, I do think that both players did their best to switch to a player at the last second and move them out of the way or dive tackle too many times. They made it easier, but it does look like open field tackling at first is going to be something we have to address. And then the passing, passing has control that Madden doesn't have. This was in Eric Rayweather's video. He was like, oh yeah, that throw right there, you can't do that in Madden. You absolutely just cannot do that in Madden. So it's something we kind of knew, but now we were able to fully confirm it. All right, some things that we found out were really cool was zone coverage was very responsive. So, and that was what Eric Rayweather brought up in his video. We knew that, again, Ryan Moody, okay, everybody needs their heel. By the way, I'll have a video about Ryan Moody pretty quick here. But Ryan Moody, he brought up, he was like, look, dude, it's just man blitz, just man blitz, it's just man blitz. They're not showing any of the zone defense. Zone defense did not look like an issue. It looked like it was really, really well done with what they did. There were a couple times where some guy was in zone coverage and he didn't drop a little bit deeper. There was a Bordeaux even brought up in his video where a guy was deep crosser and a guy was in front of him and he didn't just turn around and pick it off. There's little things like that they still need to iron out. But in terms of like zone coverage, looked like it was pretty good. Defensive PI was called at one point. They threw a deep ball, and Donovan Edwards ran his corner into the receiver, got a PI call. Kind of cool. I haven't really seen that often. That's a very rare call, especially in 3-minute quarters with two people who've never played the game. Kind of cool to see that. We also heard from one of the devs there that he said that hand-assigned abilities to the top 100 players in college football, meaning the top 100 players in college football were hand-assigned. Oh, they have this. Oh, they have that. As an example, Donovan Edwards is fantastic on the road. You think about the games at Ohio State. You think about the national championship. That is a neutral site. But he does really good on the road, so they made sure they hand-assign those out there in terms of the abilities for the top 100 players. Pump fakes actually work. We heard they might work, but we got to actually see them work in this example. It was really cool there to see, okay, we faked it to the flat, threw it behind him with like a hitch and then a corner route, little smash concept. It was really cool to see that. Also saw, too, in Bordeaux's video at 14:55, the crowd responds mid-play to big plays. This might be in Madden before, but the way that it was done, you saw it, they were all... Because remember what happened in the first game, the first half between Bordeaux and Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards was running the ball at right before halftime, like 5 seconds left, broke off a 60-yard run touchdown. Well, you can see once he gets clear, once he breaks that tackle and gets clear of the defense, the crowd starts to stand up. It was actually really cool to see that. Go check that out in his video. Link is in the description. All right, so 2 things we disproved that I am super, super happy about. The first one here was that wear and tear will ruin the game. Actually, from what we can tell you, wear and tear is serious, but it's not overpowering. We saw at one point, though, again, there's wear and tear recovery is per play, per quarter, at halftime, and per week. It doesn't look like they're going to be terrible. I mean, I did see at one point, though, that it was like -7 speed to speed, -8 to a break tackle, -9 to, acceleration, something like that. But that doesn't mean that they're terrible. Again, I saw that actually like ball carrier vision didn't go down. So some of the more of the physical attributes are going to go down, but some of the more mental things won't. So it's not going to make them terrible. You just have to make sure you kind of adapt that. We didn't really see how it worked fully in terms of how to handle that. But if you're thinking it's going to absolutely ruin the game, you just, no. Also, revamp passing will take forever to learn. Dude, the revamp passing looked awesome. You can control where the ball is at a lot more. All it has is just kind of like a shot meter in basketball. I'm so looking forward to this. It adds a level of complexity that I think is going to be welcomed by people. But if those of you out there who don't understand, it's like if you have it in the blue, it's a safe throw. Again, it might not be as hard of a throw, but it's a safe throw. It's pretty accurate. You have it in the yellow, it's starting to get to like, it might get a little shaky there. But if you hold it down too long and it gets into the red, he overthrows it, and it might be a bad throw out, as an inaccurate pass. But revamp passing is a factor, but way overblown by the people already asking to turn it off. As an example, during the EA video at 14:44, Bordeaux had a throw with he had a throw that was about 40 yards downfield with Drew Allar, who had been hit a couple times. He'd been sacked. They were down. They were losing. He was cold. Everything was against him. He had a throw that was in the red. That was a 40-yard throw. That was caught in stride. So if the narrative is, oh, it's just going to be impossible, it's like, no, dude, I think you're overblowing this. And what it is it just adds a level of complexity. A blue throw, actually, as a matter of fact, Bordeaux threw a pick on a blue throw because he kind of lollipopped it out there. But he threw a really dynamite throw on a red throw. So if the narrative is that blue is good and red is always bad, that's wrong. So what I think it is it's going to be is that blue is generally going to be pretty close around here. Yellow, it might be a little bit wider of a potential, and then red really wide. But if the narrative is that it's just going to be impossible to learn, it's going to be such a round, it's like, dude, did you just see that video? Bordeaux, who had never even really played this game or figured it out and laced a 40-yarder down the field on a bad throw. All right, so some things that we still need to know here. So how much wear and tear improves from play to play, from series to series, from quarter to quarter. We haven't seen that specifically. I do know that, again, from what I can tell, is that if you guys if your guy's yellow, it means he's just a little bit banged up, and the next week he should be fine. If he's orange, next week he might be yellow, and if he's red, the next week he might be orange. Generally, that's how it works week to week. But where from play to play, how does it work? Do you take him out one play? I don't really know the answer to that. We need to see a little bit more of that. We also didn't know whether or not the defense will see personnel or formation after the offense picks the play. One thing that was kind of goofy was that they both played on the same screen. I'm like, why are we playing on the same screen? Do we not have the servers up? Or like, can we not have two? Apparently that hasn't happened yet. They were on the same screen. Now, this is a month ago. This is months ago, something like that. So it makes a little bit of sense there. But again, didn't see whether or not when one would pick their offensive play, whether or not the personnel would show up or the formation would show up. I need me that's the personnel. That's the point of having that in the game. And the next one here is like, what happens for abilities for non-top 100 players? They handpick the ones for the top 100 players. What do they do for the players who are not in the top 100? It's just like, oh, he's a senior, give him, road dog, or give him field general or something like that. How does that happen? Again, you guys let me know what you guys think. All right. So I have, and my roommate had this theory here. So if you look at this game here, this game had made-up players in the roster. This was a while ago. A Michigan freshman running back number 37 named Tyler Buckingham was from Boise, Idaho. I know this because anytime somebody's from Boise, Idaho, my radar goes ding, 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 ding. He doesn't exist. I searched for him. He's not a real player. Rosters must have still been worked on at this point. They didn't have it fully set. They're still working on this. This was a month ago. They're still ironing out who signed their NIL deal, who didn't. What are we doing here? They are still working on that. The launch roster revealed is going to be on 7/10/2024. So that's going to be tomorrow. And we see this here. Like I said, the launch roster reveal, the full roster is going to be available tomorrow for everybody. So with this, if anybody remembers previously with Team Builder, what you would do is you could actually select any roster and pick those teams. Well, they hadn't had the roster set. Me, for the longest time, I'm like, why isn't Team Builder out? Well, they don't have the roster set for those different teams. You would have been able to find that on the Team Builder site. But now it looks like the roster is revealed tomorrow. Could we potentially be getting a Team Builder update recently? I don't know. I will say one thing about myself is I want to make sure we reference Mr. James Stockdale here. So James Stockdale was a POW in Vietnam, and he mentioned here that they talk about the Stockdale paradox. You're like, what the hell does that have to do with the situation? Listen up. James C. Collins related a conversation he had with James Stockdale regarding his coping strategy during this period of the Vietnamese POW camp. When Collins asked which prisoners didn't make it out of Vietnam, he replied, "Oh, that's easy. The optimists. Oh, they were the ones who said, we're going to be out by Christmas. Christmas would come and Christmas would go. They'd be saying, oh, we're going to be out by Easter. Easter would come, Easter would go. Thanksgiving will be out by then. They would come and then would go. And they died of a broken heart." This is a very important lesson. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatsoever they may be. So we don't have an answer on Team Builder. My perspective, though, is the fact we're going to have something tomorrow when they reveal the roster. Remember, those stock rosters were available on Team Builder. We haven't had an update. Also, I have a little bit of Stockdale paradox where I'm like, am I going to set myself up for heart failure? Because I keep on like, where's it at? Where's that? Where's that? And it doesn't get released. Again, Team Builder, we still don't know. I think maybe with the roster being revealed tomorrow, there's potential. What do you guys think? All right, guys, get in the comments and let me know. Again, you were talking about the gameplay first look. Again, what were some of the things you liked? What did you not like? Do you agree with some of my assessments there? You get in the comments and let me know. Also, remember, 2 of my subscribers getting 1 free deluxe copy of the game. I'll probably do a video that's not live just to make sure or I might do a live. I don't really know what I'm going to do. You guys tell me what you want to do there. But you guys stayed to the end. Thank you so much. Remember, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later. I am out.